Have you ever wondered why someone always seems to linger in your mind? Maybe it's an ex-lover who left an unforgettable mark on your heart, or someone you once secretly admired but never had the courage to confess to. Sometimes, it might even be someone you only crossed paths with briefly, yet they've taken up what feels like permanent residence in your thoughts. No eviction notice, no explanation. These unexpected visits, like a sudden gust of wind, leave you puzzled, asking yourself, why them? And why now? In reality, this phenomenon isn't just some random glitch in your brain system. Carl Jung, one of the greatest thinkers in psychology, believed that when someone persistently occupies your mind, it's not mere coincidence. In fact, it might be one of the most important clues leading you to uncover hidden parts of yourself. Behind these recurring thoughts about someone could lie a message from your subconscious, things you've yet to realize or are too afraid to confront. But what's really happening here? Is it leftover love, an unshakable obsession, or a part of you seeking answers from that person? Perhaps it's a sign from a deeper place within, pointing to aspects of yourself you've forgotten or refused to acknowledge. Carl Jung referred to this as the interplay between the shadow, the repressed parts of your psyche, and the anima and animus, the idealized image of yourself in relation to others. Moreover, Jung spoke about synchronicity, those seemingly unrelated but profoundly meaningful connections that feel as if they're orchestrated by the universe to guide you toward new insights. It's possible that the person constantly on your mind is a symbol of something greater, a lesson, a revelation, or an opportunity to better understand yourself. Ultimately, the question isn't just, why do they keep appearing in my thoughts? But also, what does this reveal about me? Be ready to explore, because diving into Jung's world doesn't just help you understand your connection to that person. It opens the door to a deeper understanding of yourself. You might come to see them in an entirely new light, or you might realize the issue was never really about them. It was always about you. Carl Jung and his theories. Carl Jung once said, "Those who look outside dream. Those who look inside awaken." This isn't just a philosophical observation. It reflects the core of his entire system of thought. Jung believed that people often spend most of their lives chasing external factors, work, relationships, material things, forgetting that the true answers to life lie within themselves. For him, awakening wasn't just about being aware of the outside world, but about confronting yourself and the parts of you hidden in the subconscious. The mind as a complex labyrinth. Jung described the human mind as a labyrinth, where every hallway and hidden corner represents a part of the soul. Some paths lead to the light. These are clear, conscious experiences, moments of joy and success in life. But there are also dark pathways, where painful memories, repressed emotions, and fears we try to avoid are stored. According to Jung, the journey of self-discovery can't just happen on the surface. It requires you to venture into those dark corners to confront what he called the shadow, the denied parts of yourself. The unconscious, a massive iceberg. Imagine your mind as an iceberg. The part above the water, the part you can easily access, is only a small fraction of your entire mind. This is where you find thoughts, emotions, and memories you can name. But the larger portion, submerged beneath the water, is the unconscious. In the unconscious lie buried desires, unresolved wounds, and inner conflicts that silently influence your behavior and decisions. When someone keeps appearing in your thoughts, it often means they've triggered something in your unconscious. They might represent an aspect of yourself you've never acknowledged, or they could be bringing up emotions you've tried to forget. For example, someone might remind you of an old experience, a lost feeling of love, or even an unresolved hurt. Messages from the unconscious. Jung argued that this isn't random. The unconscious doesn't speak to us through conventional language. It communicates through symbols and feelings. When someone repeatedly shows up in your thoughts, they might be a symbol your unconscious is using to send a message. Perhaps it's urging you to face a hurt or regret they bring up. Or maybe they represent something you deeply desire, love, freedom, or self-acceptance. The shadow and self-awareness. Jung called the repressed or denied parts of the mind the shadow. Confronting the shadow isn't easy because it's where we keep emotions we often don't want to admit, like envy, fear, or unhealed pain. But he emphasized that only by facing the shadow can we truly understand ourselves. When someone appears in your mind, they might be helping you see a part of your shadow you've never recognized before. Synchronicity or alignment. Another key concept in Jung's theory is synchronicity. He believed that not everything in life happens by chance. Sometimes, events or people showing up at the same time may hold a deeper meaning. It's as if the universe is sending a signal to help you see something about yourself. For example, you keep thinking about someone you lost touch with long ago, and then, out of nowhere, you bump into them in an unexpected place. According to Jung, this isn't just coincidence, it's a reminder from the universe that you need to address something related to that person. Conclusion: awakening yourself through the psychological journey. When you notice someone consistently appearing in your thoughts, don't just dismiss it as obsession or coincidence. Instead, look deeper into the meaning they bring to your mind. This might be an opportunity for you to embark on a journey of self-discovery, confronting your shadow, exploring the symbols in your unconscious, and ultimately awakening to a deeper understanding of yourself. Jung was right when he said, "Those who look inside awaken." So, instead of avoiding these thoughts, use them as a door to understand and refine yourself. The shadow theory. Meeting your shadow. No, it's not the shadow you see when you're standing in the sunlight, but a much deeper aspect of your psyche that you might not want to acknowledge. Carl Jung, the famous Swiss psychologist, described the shadow as all the parts of yourself that you have repressed, denied, or ignored because they don't fit the ideal image you want to project. These are not necessarily evil or harmful parts that you need to avoid, but rather emotions, thoughts, and characteristics that you have been unable or unwilling to accept about yourself. The shadow isn't a bad thing. To understand this better, it's important to clarify that the shadow is not something inherently bad or something to avoid. It's a natural part of being human. Jung believed that everyone has a shadow, and if you don't face it, you won't be able to achieve true self-awareness or growth. The shadow contains parts of us that we tend to hide because we fear they don't align with the image of ourselves we want to create in society, or because we fear they might tarnish our self-image. For example, someone who always strives to appear perfect and never admits weaknesses may be suppressing a part of their shadow, feelings of insecurity or failure. If we don't accept these parts, we won't be able to understand our deeper motivations and fears. The shadow in relationships. Interestingly, the people who continuously appear in your mind could be your shadow wearing a mask. Sometimes, the people you deeply admire reflect characteristics that you long for but are too afraid to admit. For instance, you might admire someone's confidence while you yourself are struggling with insecurity. Perhaps they represent a part of you that you've neglected or are too scared to develop. They serve as a mirror, reflecting the hidden parts of you that you have yet to accept. On the flip side, you might find yourself feeling uncomfortable or unable to connect with someone because they display traits you've hidden in yourself, such as arrogance, impulsiveness, or a superiority complex. These traits are not something you dislike in others. In fact, they're parts of yourself that you're unwilling to face. These individuals make you uncomfortable because your unconscious recognizes that they reflect what you're denying within yourself. The relationship between people and the shadow. Jung believed that our relationships with others are not random. When someone occupies your thoughts, they are not just a person who intrigues or obsesses you. Instead, they might represent a part of your shadow that needs attention. Your unconscious mind is trying to tell you, "Look at me. We need to face each other." This isn't a criticism or judgment, but an invitation to embark on a journey of self-exploration. Truly facing your shadow can unlock deep insights into yourself that you never realized. For example, if you're attracted to someone who is creative and free-spirited, it could be that your shadow is calling you to explore the creativity you've abandoned or never dared to pursue. You might not realize that you also have creative potential, but because of a fear of failure or lack of confidence, you've suppressed this part of you. That person is simply a symbol in your life, helping you recognize this. How to discover and grow from the shadow. Becoming aware of the shadow is not always easy and can often feel uncomfortable. However, according to Jung, this journey of discovery is the key to enlightenment and psychological maturity. Instead of obsessing over why someone keeps appearing in your thoughts, you can begin to ask deeper questions. What part of me do they reflect? And how can I grow from this? Exploring the shadow doesn't mean confronting something evil or dangerous. On the contrary, it's an opportunity for you to re-examine parts of yourself that you might have forgotten or purposely rejected. It allows you to face fears, emotions, and desires that you haven't had the courage to admit. Jung was absolutely right when he said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." This journey isn't easy, but as you learn to confront the hidden parts of yourself, you will gain a clearer understanding of the world and live more fully and completely. Anima and animus, the inner relationship. Let's dive into two fascinating and important concepts in Carl Jung's psychology: anima and animus. These are profound archetypes representing the feminine and masculine aspects of the psyche within every individual, regardless of gender. These archetypes play a crucial role in how we form relationships with others, as well as with ourselves. What are anima and animus? According to Jung, anima is the feminine archetype that exists within every man, while animus is the masculine archetype that exists within every woman. It's important to note that these archetypes are not tied to an individual's actual gender. Whether you are male or female, everyone carries both anima and animus, and their presence in the unconscious deeply influences how we relate to others and perceive ourselves. Anima in the male psyche manifests as emotions, intuition, and connection with the inner world, symbolizing their softer, creative, and sensitive side. Animus in the female psyche, on the other hand, represents intellect, power, and action, embodying strength, independence, and assertiveness in women. These archetypes not only play an essential role in personal development, but also profoundly affect how we engage in emotional, social, and personal relationships. Anima, animus, and attraction. So, what's the connection between these archetypes and someone who often occupies your thoughts? Jung believed that when you become obsessed with someone, it could be a sign that they are resonating with your anima or animus. In other words, when someone constantly pops into your mind, it could be because they reflect a part of you that you haven't fully realized or developed yet. Anima in men may draw them to women who exhibit deep emotionality, sensitivity, and strong inner communication. This person may embody a part of themselves they wish to nurture, such as creativity or emotional connection. Animus in women, conversely, may attract them to strong, decisive, and logical men, representing qualities they desire to develop in themselves, such as confidence or control. This could explain why you might feel intensely attracted or even obsessed with someone. They are the embodiment of a part of you that you either wish for or unconsciously need to accept. However, this attraction may not always be an accurate representation of the person themselves. Sometimes, anima or animus can create an illusion in your thoughts. Illusion and the idealized partner. One significant aspect of anima and animus is their ability to create an idealized image of a partner. When you are strongly drawn to someone, you might end up projecting ideal characteristics onto them that don't necessarily align with who they really are. These traits are not what the person is showing you, but rather what your unconscious wants to see. You may be viewing them through the lens of your desires and expectations, rather than seeing them objectively. This can lead to a complex situation where you don't truly love the person, but rather the idealized version of them in your mind. The gap between reality and illusion can cause confusion and sometimes disappointment when you realize that the person isn't what you imagined. However, Jung emphasized that confronting this difference is an opportunity to explore and better understand yourself, particularly the parts of yourself you have yet to accept or develop. Shifting perspectives, from obsession to self-awareness. Once you recognize that the people who occupy your thoughts aren't there by chance, you can begin to shift your perspective. Instead of asking, "Why am I obsessed with them?" you can ask a deeper question. What part of me are they awakening? This is exactly what Jung encouraged us to do, to confront our unconscious and explore the parts of ourselves that remain unrecognized. When you start to identify and understand the anima and animus within you, you can improve your relationships, not only with others, but also with yourself. You'll stop viewing others through the lens of idealization and begin to accept them as part of your personal growth journey. The importance of anima and animus in self-awareness. Ultimately, the concepts of anima and animus not only help us gain deeper self-understanding, but also serve as keys to developing empathy and genuine connection in our relationships. When you understand and accept both your feminine and masculine aspects, you achieve inner balance and create strong, lasting relationships. It's a long journey, but it opens up the opportunity to live a more harmonious and authentic life with yourself and those around you. As Jung said, what we cannot accept in ourselves will become projected onto others, and we will forever search for them. Let anima and animus help you see yourself more clearly and rediscover the qualities you've forgotten, thereby fostering truly healthy and natural relationships. Projection, the psychological lens we see through. When we talk about projection in psychology, it's one of the most fascinating and insightful concepts developed by Carl Jung. Projection isn't a foreign concept, but it can easily be overlooked in our everyday lives. Jung pointed out that most of what we perceive about others isn't really about them at all. It's actually a reflection of our own unresolved thoughts, desires, fears, and emotions. Projection, a psychological movie theater. Think of projection like a movie theater in your mind. Instead of viewing the world around you objectively, you project your thoughts and feelings onto the people around you, just as a projector casts images onto a screen. In every situation, we don't simply see others through the lens of objective reality. We see them through the lens of our own emotions and beliefs. For example, you might admire someone for their ambition, but if you dig deeper, you'll realize that it's not necessarily about them. It's more a reflection of your own unfulfilled aspirations. Perhaps you lack ambition, or maybe you have ambition but aren't confident enough to express it. In any case, the person you admire is actually embodying a part of you that you want to develop or acknowledge. Projection and self-awareness. On the flip side, projection can also serve as a defense mechanism. When you dislike someone, that dislike often reflects a part of yourself you don't want to face. For example, you may hate someone for being overly critical, and this could trigger your own fear of being criticized or feelings of low self-esteem. Or, you might dislike someone for being cold and distant, which could be linked to a part of you that you don't want to admit. You may have similar feelings that you don't know how to express. When you feel strongly repelled by or attracted to someone, it might be a sign that you're projecting your own emotions onto them. That's when it's important to pause and ask yourself, why do I feel this way? What does this reveal about me? Projection and profound self-understanding. Projection can lead you to live in the illusion that your perceptions of others are the truth. When you think someone is amazing or terrible, it's easy to miss the fact that you are actually reflecting yourself through them. This leads to confusion in relationships and can create misunderstandings, tension, or even distance between you and others. Jung believed this was a great opportunity for self-development. When you identify and accept your projections, you can uncover and understand parts of yourself that have yet to be accepted or developed. This awareness not only helps you recognize these aspects in yourself, but also allows you to adjust your relationships with others, as you no longer view them through the lens of subjective emotions and expectations. Projection, the path to self-discovery. Jung said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. This is an important reminder. When you feel obsessed with someone or have strong feelings towards someone you can't explain, try viewing those feelings as an opportunity to better understand yourself. Ask yourself, why do I feel this way? And what part of me am I not fully aware of? It's not easy, as projection often makes you feel that your emotions and reactions are completely justified. However, once you begin to identify these projections, you'll realize that understanding yourself is the key to understanding others on a deeper level and building healthy relationships. Practicing projection and self-healing. An important step in this process is learning to listen to yourself and recognize projections when they arise. Every time you feel a strong emotion about someone, try to analyze whether it's truly your emotion toward them or just a reflection of unresolved matters in your own mind. If you notice that negative emotions about someone keep recurring, it might be a sign that something within you needs to be healed. Sometimes, projection is a protective mechanism, but when you recognize and deal with these emotions, you'll become stronger and more harmonious with yourself and those around you. Conclusion. Projection is one of the most powerful psychological mechanisms we have. It helps us understand ourselves better by identifying parts of us that have not yet developed or been acknowledged. However, as Jung said, Projection can lead us to self-understanding if we learn to consciously face our emotions and thoughts. When we do this, we not only free ourselves from obsessing over others, but also create healthier, more insightful relationships with ourselves and those around us. Synchronicity, more than just coincidence. Synchronicity is one of the most profound and intriguing concepts in Carl Jung's theory. If you've ever experienced a moment where everything seemed to connect magically, like thinking about someone and immediately receiving a message from them, or running into someone in an unexpected place, you've witnessed a phenomenon that Jung called synchronicity, meaningful coincidences. However, it's important to understand that synchronicity isn't just random. It's an event with a deeper meaning in your personal growth and relationship with the world around you. Synchronicity, more than just coincidence. Jung defines synchronicity as events that are connected not through cause and effect, but through meaning. This means that when external events in your life seem to reflect or respond to your thoughts, feelings, or desires in a surprising and profound way, it's not random. These are signs that an invisible force is at work in your life. A force you may not fully be aware of, but one that's influencing how you experience the world around you. For example, when you think about someone, and they then reach out to you, it's not just coincidence. Perhaps your subconscious has focused on that person so much that it starts to shape your perception of reality, making you notice their presence even from afar. Or maybe the universe, or some spiritual force, is using the connection between your inner world and the external world to send you important messages. Synchronicity as a call to action. The most important message Jung wanted to convey with synchronicity is that it's not just a simple coincidence, but a call to action. Every time a synchronistic event happens, it's a sign from your subconscious or from the universe, reminding you of something you need to recognize or act upon. When you run into someone after a long time, or when a special event happens right when you need it, it's time to pause, reflect, and ask, why is this happening now? What message does this event hold for me? The person you meet again might represent an unresolved part of you, an emotion you haven't confronted, or perhaps they are a reminder of a path you've neglected due to fear. Synchronicity isn't random. It's a sign for you to dig deeper into your life and consider how you're interacting with the world. Synchronicity and personal growth. Every synchronistic moment is an opportunity for you to embark on a journey of self-discovery and find deeper meaning in what's happening around you. When a synchronistic event occurs, don't just see it as a meaningless coincidence. Instead, view it as a nudge, a reminder that life is not just driven by random events, but by an underlying design or invisible connections that you need to pay attention to and understand. Synchronicity can help you realize that the world around you is part of a larger system, a network of connections where everything has meaning and purpose. You might be following a path you didn't expect to walk, or you might be facing a challenge you previously overlooked. Each synchronistic event serves as a reminder from your subconscious about what you need to do next. Synchronicity, a gateway to life's possibilities. We often overlook synchronistic moments, thinking of them as mere coincidences. However, according to Jung, these moments can open new doors in your life, doors that lead to experiences, discoveries, and profound insights about yourself. Synchronistic events are signals that you're on the right path, or they may be invitations for you to pay attention to an area in your life that needs change. They can be significant moments when you realize the connection between your thoughts, emotions, and actions with real-world events. Every time you experience synchronicity, you're increasing your awareness of how the universe and your subconscious are working together to guide you toward the experiences you need. It's a profound connection between the inner and outer worlds. Conclusion. As Jung said, synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see. This is not a rare phenomenon. It's actually a part of our everyday lives, if we stop and pay attention to the signs the universe and our subconscious send us. Instead of seeing it as just random coincidence, recognize that synchronistic moments are important signals, helping you understand more about yourself, your life, and the paths you're exploring. Synchronicity is a reminder that life holds deeper connections than we can see, and each moment contains a significant message, if you know how to listen and feel. Decoding your thoughts, a path to self-awareness and personal growth. When you start exploring Carl Jung's theories, you might feel overwhelmed by the complex concepts of the shadow, anima, animus, and synchronicity. But Jung didn't just present theories. He provided extremely useful tools that you can apply in real life. Especially when you're dealing with someone who occupies your mind, the key isn't to simply push them out of your thoughts, but to understand why they occupy space in your mind and learn how to decode the messages your mind is trying to communicate. Jung believed that everything that happens in our unconscious mind has profound meaning and can help us grow. To decode this, you need to follow 3 basic steps: self-reflection, analysis, and action. Let's dive into each step so you can better understand yourself and what your mind is trying to say. Step 1. Self-reflection. Ask the right questions. The first step to decoding the thoughts that occupy your mind is self-reflection. When you think about someone, ask yourself, what emotions arise when I think about them? This is a simple question, but it can open many doors of insight. For example, you may be drawn to that person's confidence, which could reflect your own lack of self-confidence. Or you may feel irritated by their coldness, which might highlight a sense of disconnection or emotional isolation in your own life. By recognizing the emotions you experience when thinking about this person, you'll start to identify parts of yourself that may be overlooked or need attention. Every emotion, whether positive or negative, is a signal from your subconscious. Don't rush to judge or dismiss these emotions. Let them guide you toward a deeper understanding of yourself. Step 2. Analysis, digging deeper for meaning. Once you've identified the emotions, the next step is to analyze them to find a deeper meaning. Jung argued that what you feel about others often reflects something within yourself, and these feelings are the key to uncovering your unconscious mind. Try reflecting on the relationship you have with that emotion. For example, if you admire someone's creativity, it might be because you feel a lack of creativity in your own life. Or, if you feel heartbroken when someone rejects you, it could be a sign of an old wound related to unresolved self-worth. To gain a clearer understanding of these emotions, you might try journaling or meditating. Journaling helps you capture your thoughts and emotions in a safe space, allowing you to view them more objectively. Meditation is also a great way to connect with your subconscious and find peace to better understand yourself. As you analyze these emotions thoroughly, you'll begin to see that each feeling, each thought, is not random. It's sending you an important message. Step 3. Action. Turning discoveries into real-life actions. The final step in decoding your thoughts is action. Once you've identified and analyzed the emotions and messages your mind is sending, the next crucial step is to use this newfound understanding to grow and evolve. This is not the time to change others, but to change yourself. You might begin to build self-confidence if you recognize that you lack it, or restore creativity in your life if you feel you've lost that spark. Taking action could involve small steps, like signing up for a course, finding a mentor, or working on healing old wounds. You might also try doing something new that you've been hesitant about, like participating in an activity you love but haven't had the chance to try, or starting a creative project you've been putting off. By doing so, you'll not only address the issues you're facing, but you'll also transform intrusive thoughts into opportunities for personal growth. Conclusion: the unconscious and fate. Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." This quote is not just a warning, but also a reminder of the power of becoming aware of and understanding your unconscious mind. The thoughts that dominate your mind are not just random. They are signals from your subconscious, inviting you to explore and illuminate parts of yourself that you haven't fully recognized. By engaging in self-reflection, analysis, and action, you'll not only resolve obsessive thoughts, but also open up a new path to personal growth, healing your weaknesses, and building a more meaningful life. Every thought, every emotion can be part of a journey toward enlightenment and maturity, and decoding them is the key to unlocking your true power. In conclusion, our minds are not just a place that holds thoughts and feelings. They are a treasure map, where every thought and feeling can lead us closer to self-understanding. The people, events, or emotions that you can't stop thinking about are not random. They are signals from your subconscious, inviting you to explore the deeper parts of yourself. It's like an invitation to look beyond the surface and dig into the layers beneath, where hidden or unacknowledged parts of you may be waiting to be discovered. When someone keeps living rent-free in your mind, don't dismiss it as merely a nuisance or a feeling you need to get rid of. Instead, View it as a valuable opportunity to learn more about yourself. That obsessive feeling could point to something unresolved in your mind. Perhaps that person represents a quality you desire, or maybe they're a reflection of a part of yourself that you haven't fully accepted or become aware of. So, instead of avoiding or trying to push away these thoughts, use them as a mirror to see yourself more clearly. The people who occupy your thoughts are not intruders in your mental world, but bringers of opportunities for you to learn and grow. They hold the key to understanding the unexplored aspects of yourself. Remember, every emotion, whether you like it or not, can lead you to a deeper understanding of who you are. Take a deep breath, open your heart to exploration, and see what message your mind is trying to convey. When you approach these thoughts and feelings with an open and curious mindset, you won't just uncover parts of yourself you didn't know. You'll also experience personal growth and development far beyond what you may have imagined. All these thoughts and emotions are signals, parts of the journey of self-awareness that you need to go through. Don't ignore them. See them as opportunities for change, growth, and discovering the limitless potential within yourself. Because in the end, it's not just about others. It's about the journey of exploring and mastering yourself.